Welcome to the RSP film room. I'm Mosi Tatupu. That's Steve Grogan. Something like
I
that.
need a neck roll for that.
I know, don't you? You know,
Yeah,
I
I
need
mean, come on.
I need some muscle for that.
Although I have to say at the outset, first off, let me do this, gentle viewers and listeners. You see this? You see this move right here? The little
Ah,
rocket I'm doing.
yeah.
Some of you might notice that there's no squeaking because in the last time we did an RSP, I was in my old office chair, which squeaked, which made noise, which
Ah.
which wasn't comfortable. I am now in a very stylish, very fancy Secret Labs office chair, which was a kind and generous gift by the Mr. Matt Waldman.
Well,
Matt, I cannot thank you enough for this, and I wanted to do it on the air too. I've
oh man,
obviously
you didn't
thanked you
need to do
before,
that,
but
but I
yeah,
appreciate.
look, you're taking care of me. It's
I,
like
yeah, but you're
out of
you know.
all the things people have done for me in this industry, and people have done many great things for me, an office chair is just legitimately one of the nicest things ever. So I cannot thank you enough, and I wanted to do it on the air. And I
Well.
also wanted to show everybody that look, there will be no more squeaking. There will be no more squeaking. Because Matt, when we did the first round, you, me, and Sigmund, as we've done, and Jason, as we've done so many times before, I kept finding myself squeaking and interrupting people as the draft was happening. I was like, man, this is bad. This is bad. Now it's not squeaking anymore.
What's so
It's
funny is
fantastic.
I don't remember ever noticing that. Did I ever
Oh, it would
notice
drive
that?
me nuts. No, you
I
never said
never
a
noticed
thing.
it. Yeah, so
No, but
that's
it would drive
funny.
me nuts.
Well,
So yeah,
I'm
but
glad
this
I'm glad
lovely
that was the
chair. It's a
case.
fantastic, generous gift from such a kind man. I cannot thank you enough.
Well, I appreciate it. It's a great chair. So we don't have them as an endorsement, but Secret
We
Labs
should.
are we should, man. They're great. And because I got one of these chairs mid last year, and it's a game changer. So I'm very happy with it. Easy to put together too. Seems to last real long. So our first unofficial sponsor
Yep.
is Secret Lab Chairs. You can go check them out. But
This is
we
this is not sponsored in any way.
yeah,
It's just a fantastic chair.
exactly. So today we're gonna do a film room on Oklahoma quarterback Spencer Rattler.
Yep.
This should be an interesting film room just because, when you think about Oklahoma quarterbacks, it's a wide range of players. You get Kyler Murray, who's obviously, such a game changer with his legs, but also has, a pretty good gun for an arm, can maneuver around. And then you have Baker Mayfield, who you would argue is maybe a little lower on the spectrum there, but similar types of skills. Um, where does Radler fit in with those two guys? Does he fit in at all with those two guys?
Yeah, it's so interesting, Matt. I was thinking about sort of the lineage of recent Oklahoma quarterbacks today. I was on actually in Oklahoma this afternoon. I did a radio spot with Keegan Rago, who's a great sort of Sooners guy. Obviously knows the Sooners inside and out. And I was talking about the idea of this recent lineage of Baker, of Kyler, of Jalen Hurts, and now Rattler. And one thing that's sort of interesting to me is that in some ways, those two quarterbacks sort of illustrate the double-edged sword that is athleticism for quarterbacks. Because if you look at Baker, one of my knocks on him coming out was that conundrum of comfort and chaos, where he would want to seek out life outside the pocket. And then Kyler obviously made us question sort of the idea of sort of, results versus process and things like that. Similar with Jalen Hurts. And now I think Rattler too. I mean, these guys are extremely athletic and they can be successful outside of the pocket, but there might be times when it costs them. And I think you've seen Mayfield deal with that in the NFL. You've seen Murray deal with that. We'll probably see more of that from Hurts now that he's the full-time starter. So I think it's this sort of the offense and the environment and the openness of Big 12 football and the space that these guys play in and operate in, it leads them to want to be outside the pocket, but creates problems along the way.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly stated, and we're certainly going to see that today in the film room. Mark supplied some clips. I supplied some clips, and we'll just surprise each other to see what the overlap is,
There's
either in
always
concepts or
some.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's always some. So, and that's why, because you actually suggested you asked if I wanted to see yours. I'm like, nah, I like to go in cold because it's always fun when you're like I remember, I think it was we were watching Mac Jones and that play against Missouri popped up, and we were both kind of like, oh God, we love this play. So,
Yeah, exactly. And I think the theme for today, I'm going to guess, is how is the challenge for today is, and for really for the rest of Spencer Rattler's career, is for him not to live up to his last name within the pocket, and to live up to that name by striking that in the hearts of opposing defenders.
I
And
think
so
that's well
he,
put.
yeah, because he can rattle defenders, but he
Absolutely.
also can get rattled. So
Yeah.
we're going to get started here. And this is the first play you're going to see. You've got basically it looks like a 2x2 or 2x1 11 personnel set. And you can see it's going to quick throw out here with a defender over the top. And what I like about this play is just the placement.
Yeah.
Right off the bat in the quick game for him, one of the things that he does just extremely well is put the ball where it needs to be so the receiver can get the most out of the play here.
Yeah, and I think that idea of quarterbacks identified leverage threats and putting the football away from them is so critical. Like I used to be so dogmatic, and I've talked with you and others about this about can they read coverages, can they decipher rotations, put the ball where it needs to be. Like, can you identify the closest threat and put the ball away from them? If you could do that, you're going to be okay early on. And Justin Herbert's a good example of that, and this is a great example of that. Particularly, like you were so smart to point out in quick game stuff, right? Where
Yeah.
yardage after the catch is the goal. Like this is a route concept that Mitchell Trubisky probably threw 3,000 times in Chicago, but because he would be late and place it poorly, Allen Robinson's 5-yard catch was a 6-yard gain. But when you throw it on time, in rhythm, with good placement, good anticipation, the 5-yard catch is a 12-yard gain.
Yep. Or in this case, about a
A
20-yard.
25-yard gain, yeah.
But still, I mean, that's the
Yep.
thing. And you just see how it's drawn up. I mean, it's simple, but it's something worth for showing people is when you understand what your route concepts are doing, which is that you have a deep man running off this outside player, that's by design. You
Yeah.
understand that if you hit this man and he beats his man, especially over the top, and they expect him to do so, he's going to have a ton of room.
And people might say, oh, well, it's a one read throw. Like he knows what he's doing. So what?
Yeah.
Like he still has to make the throw. I mean, and what's wrong with making it easier on your quarterback? Because if that guy that's over him, if he presses that slot receiver, now he's going to throw the fade ball. I mean, okay, so he knows what he's going to do. That's a good thing for quarterbacks.
Yeah. I mean, in contrast, I know you just have something out on Sam Howell. I just put something out on Howell this week. And I have a play with Howell on a 3rd and 2 where he has a slot receiver who breaks open in the flat, and he just ignores him to decide to make a much more difficult attempt at a play that doesn't work. 3rd and 2. Yep. Easy 2 yards. He could have stared down the route and gone to the man after the man even broke that was like that wide open. And he just decided, nah, I don't want to do that. And he's done that repeatedly in his game.
Not to hijack the Spencer Rattler show, but I found in watching Howell, there are some aspects to his game that I like, but I found myself wanting to sit down with an air raid coach and say, okay, I have questions about these 25 plays and what he was doing and what he was seeing. Am I reading this right or not? Because I was left almost with more questions than answers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of where I was too, because it was kind of like I said, there's part of his tape that looks Justin Herbert-like at times. Yep. Then you can see where he could be a future Justin Herbert. And then there's Mitchell Trubisky that he also looks like. And it depends on him answering certain questions this year, I think, where you can see what's going to be more predominant to him. Is he going to be a first-round pick that you can build around, or a first-round pick that you're going to be getting rid of in 4 years?
Right.
So, all right, let's move forward here. And I believe this is going to be a deep ball. Yep. And it's just him being able to stand in there.
Yep.
Good job reading it. You've got a cross blitz inside, being able to flick the ball even without having to turn over the feet. and he
And he
plays.
knows he's going to get drilled. He
Yeah,
knows he's going to get drilled, and that is so hard to sit there and accept because everything in your human nature tells you this is a flight moment. But when you stay in there and take that shot, it's huge.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, the toughness is there. Taking the simple plays and being a game manager in the moments where you should be a game manager. There's evidence of being able to do that. There's some real positives there.
Yeah.
This is one of those positives to me and a negative.
Right.
For me, the positive throws the ball away. The negative, here's an open lane.
Yeah.
And understanding that you have the leverage to just slide right up here, climb the pocket, all this space, defenders all running away from you. You can climb, maybe buy time to throw down the field, or you can run. And instead, he tries to get outside the pocket, which then invites more pressure that has the leverage on him.
Yeah, I'm reading right now Terry Shea, who is a longtime college and NFL offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, his book Eyes Up, and he has in there that as a quarterback, your first steps have to be after you hit your drop depth towards the line of scrimmage. Yeah. If you start bailing the pocket, if you start exiting out the back door, it's going to do two things. One, it's going to invite that pressure like you see right there. And the other thing is it's going to show fear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to tell the guys on the defensive side of the ball that, look, man, we can get after this guy. We can flush him. We can frustrate him. And this is, again, that sort of double-edged nature of these quarterbacks that we've talked about, like the Oklahoma guys we've talked about. Because 9 times out of 10, Rattler probably gets around and makes a play. Or maybe it's 6 times out of 10 or 5 times out of 10. But that's on Saturdays.
Yep.
What about Sundays?
Yep. And these are usually Sunday athletes in the SEC over here. And he did not get outside these guys in this game.
Yeah. So you're right. I mean, throwing it away, that's great. Like, that's okay. But I'd love to see him step up in the pocket first here.
Yeah. And I'd love to see a game plan that goes beyond either a 1-step drop and set or a quick drop and quick 2-step or 3-step. Because once he exhausts these 2 steps here, he has no real plan of what he's doing with his feet. He's just shuffling and hoping that what he had was open, and he just doesn't have a plan to be able to move up. Like, his eyes and feet are not connected anymore in terms of what to do, and that tells you he just doesn't have an ingrained plan of how to deal with pressure. And in order to be able to climb in these quarters and make plays in the tight confines of the pocket, you have to show that you have a plan here. And his feet are basically like a kid who was like, I learned the first lesson of memorizing the 3-step drop, but I have no idea what to do with my feet once that's over.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a common theme with his game. I mean, you can see in more detail here. Once you're here and you finish your drop and you see this, I think it's time to slide. And now you could say it's not necessarily fair to say, does he really have an opening here? But I think you still have to take that step forward. Like you said, Mark, it's got to be there, and you have to know that you have a 3-on-2 over here on this side to be able to climb. Lamar Jackson does that easily.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess what I'm showing here is that why basically there was nobody open here for him, and then he fumbles the ball away. So let's see if we can look at it here one more time, why I broke it down this way. But you see him on the design rollout, and as he's reading the zone, he has one guy here. The leverage seems to be pretty good for the defender. Over here, it's across the field he's going to have to go back to. It seems like he's got coverage and position that he's not going to be able to fire that ball. And so at this point, you're going to see him do a decent job of climbing. The ball's very loose from his frame. And by the time he can throw it, this is just too much time. He's got to learn to throw the ball away earlier.
Yeah. And I have a similar play that touches on this idea of you've climbed around that edge defender. Don't forget about him.
Yeah.
He's not going to give up the play once he runs by you. And so ball security, when that edge defender goes by you and starts to climb and backtrack towards you, is something he needs to clean up a little bit.
Should we call this the Steve Young corollary, meaning that
Yes,
it's like this basically looks like
absolutely.
Steve Young and what happened to Steve Young to basically shorten the Hall of Fame career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Because I've got a play from Kansas. It's the same thing. He does a great job doing what we just talked about on the previous play of, okay, now he's climbing. He's making that step forward towards the line of scrimmage. You're still playing against 11. You're not just playing against 10 now. That
Yeah.
guy's going to come back.
Yep. And just a hair too late there. And this kind of shows off his gun, though it wasn't pinpoint accurate as a play, but it's still, let's see if we can, yeah, here we go. You can see that he understands where the receiver is going to go.
Yep.
He just doesn't get the ball. Lee doesn't lead the receiver enough, and the receiver has to slow down, and now he has to angle his route a little bit, further downfield as opposed to towards the sideline, and it still drops it. I mean, it's still a good enough throw.
Yeah.
And he's got a decent play action game when he wants to. He seems to follow through pretty well. He certainly has a gun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody really questions him from an arm talent perspective.
All right, yeah, just right on the hands, but awkward adjustment for the receiver to make there.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we have here? Another drop that was a good throw, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what we've got with this particular read. Let's look back at it here.
And on the previous play too, he knows he has it. Like he knows the coverage scheme that he's going to have this route, so he puts it on him.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's something I do like about him too, is particularly in the vertical passing game. We've both seen quarterbacks that try to put the throw in the absolute ideal spot. There'll be times when he just wants to make sure of the catch and just puts it on a guy.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can fault him there with, and
No.
he has a nice vertical game.
Yeah, I like his vertical game. I mean, I think, his ball placement generally is pretty good.
Yeah. And the common denominator, it seems, with these Oklahoma quarterbacks is they can throw the ball deep.
Yeah.
It's a nice follow through.
Yeah. He's got some, trash and traffic at his feet, but it doesn't seem to bother him too much.
No, not at all. I just like that this is kind of a safe throwaway, but he does try to be aggressive on this offside call.
Yeah.
A little bit of a climb. You can see that there's some potential there.
Yeah.
All right, see what do we have here on this particular play. I mean, all I would say is that this is open.
Yeah.
It's a sliver of a play, but he needs to anticipate that a little bit better.
Yeah.
And he is looking to the right side first, but he comes back, and this is like the best quarterbacks will know where this is, and it's just a turn and throw.
And this is sort of what I was talking about with Howell. I'm very curious why he's reading this right side first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's probably a reason for that. I mean, you look at alignment pre-snap, though. You've got off coverage on the left. You've got one guy getting jammed on the right. To me, it would seem, look, you've got the running back shaded that way. He's releasing into the route. It would seem like, especially with that potential blitzer coming, that's where you always want to go first.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. And your safety is even drifting from that right side to the left, so he's having to move to that left side. So yeah,
Especially if spin that back one more time, because if you're sliding the protection to the right, like it looks like they're sliding here, and you get that blitz there, and this running back has a free release, then your heart's going to be over there.
yeah,
So, I mean, that's one where, again, I could be completely wrong, but from my rudimentary understanding and experience with pass protection and stuff.
yeah. And that's one of those things again that, as Dan brought up when we did the show on Davis Mills, this
Right.
spring, you would have this on your list of asking the coordinator and coaching staff, what's the deal here with this
Yeah.
play? This is just this is an immature type of play that's common with athletes at
Yep.
the quarterback position. Throw the ball away. Just throw it
Yeah.
away now. He tries to, and you can see that he isn't fast enough to defeat an edge defender.
Right.
All right, yeah, we've seen the point here.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's what he's going to throw away.
And this was nice and on the money. I mean,
Yep.
you understand that you've got good depth with the safety there. You can see, basically he holds that safety there,
Yep.
comes across, hits him right in stride.
I like how he keeps his feet sort of bouncing there.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep the little rhythm of the play.
Yep.
He also is a really good pass protector and a New England Patriots running back rookie over there who's didn't do much on this play, but I'm sure he feels a little confident on that.
We
about
had
what
our
he's got
dynasty
there.
startup draft a couple weeks ago, Matt. I tried like heck to get my hands on some Ramondre.
Yeah, I know you did. I know you did. I would have liked to have that myself.
Yeah.
And let's see what we have here on this particular play.
This is a great design from Lincoln Riley, though.
Let's take a look at it. So you basically have your 10 personnel, and I like what they're doing crossing in the middle.
Yeah, you show mesh, but then one guy goes vertical, occupies the safety. The backside guy there is down at the bottom of the screen, is doing a post, which occupies the corner. And then you leak this other guy. This poor linebacker's like, hey, this is coming.
Yep, and he's pointing.
He's like, look, man, I can't run with him.
Yeah, somebody help me. I'm getting left behind.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's look at it one more time here. I got to go to the right. There we go. Here's that linebacker right here, climbing up the right hash. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Look, man, I need something.
Yeah.
I need help, but corner sticking on that post route. I mean, it's a great design, but
Yeah, the execution.
would like to see him hit it.
Yeah. Do you think the heel clicking of the movement here with his feet are part of the problem?
Yeah. I mean, I think that impacted it a little bit. Sort of doesn't really have a clean enough. You could have a cleaner base to make this throw.
Yeah. And I find that he's like a lot of college quarterbacks, they seem very slow with their last step.
Yeah.
It's always kind of like quick, then real slow. And
Yeah.
they're not, and it's like you can tell that's the point where they're having to think about what's
They're
going
thinking
on.
about, I got to make this throw right. I got to do this to get the ball out. And the sort of mind mechanics take over.
Yeah. All right. That embedded look off
Yeah.
to just create the first read. This is an Oklahoma. This is a very Lincoln Riley play right
Yeah.
here. You see the Eagles adopt this, with Wentz. You saw this with Baker.
Yeah.
You're going to see it in.
And it's another way to sort of help the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
You manufacture manipulation. If And I think Rattler is okay at moving players with his eyes. I think he needs to get a little bit better at it. But this is one way to sort of do it, right?
Yeah.
You embed these sort of looks where you get that safety will widen a little bit. You get the underneath defender to widen a little bit. Obviously, you're doing it with that fast motion anyway, so you're going to draw the attention, and it just creates space. It's manufactured manipulation. I love it.
Yeah. And if you're a nimble quarterback, you get a chance to really practice some of the manipulation skills that you can add to a drop, that you can incorporate with the drop game. So it's still a nice building block from when you're looking from a scouting perspective. And I like how fast you can get rid of the ball. Let's see. Let's look at it one more time here. All right, go away, go away, go away. Here we go. I mean, again, that's a quick little flick and turn there. All right, so let's see what we see here. Just a nice job of avoiding pressure, I think, on the whole.
That's the stuff that people are going to like rave about.
Yeah.
And you can see why the contact balance, he gets skitty through this little crease like a running back.
Now, here's the thing that I don't understand and what I would ask a question about with this play. You have a high safety here. You're motioning a player across, and and you have a receiver here. You would think you have a one-on-one on the outside.
Especially when you see what happens.
Yes, and you should see what happens, but he never sees it.
Yeah.
He sees the pressure here and completely looks for the back door. If he saw the pressure and held his water a little bit, he might see the blitz from the corner and go, wow, I just have to get it there.
Yeah. Receiver's looking for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 6.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those moments where he can see that, right? Like he's allowed to look at that, right?
I would think.
I would think so too. And so, and what was he reading anyway? Because you've got go swing.
Yeah.
And he opens left anyway.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you stay with this?
Right.
Other than the fact that the pressure distracted you, the early flash further inside. And I think that he just decided.
Or it's, the old adage, you assume you do, what, right? And so he sees that second level defender who's right over the Y in Goodyear. He sees him flash into the outside, so he assumes that he's taking the swing. So he assumes that the corner is going to stay over the receiver, and he's got a blitz coming. So he's assuming there's going to be good coverage and a blitz, so I got to extend. And he misses the fact by assuming that corner peels off to either blitz and or take the swing, and you've ignored an opportunity for 6.
Exactly. So it just shows you how thorough quarterbacks have to be mentally. When it comes to what they do.
I mean, we've got the benefits of pause and rewind and everything. He's got maybe a second to figure that out. Yeah. But that second is the difference between first overall pick of the draft and third rounder.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So, again, I feel like we say this a lot when we do these, but if it sounds like we're nitpicking, it's because this stuff matters.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we just have to understand, that's what makes it so difficult to pick a quarterback in the first round.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And why the risks there.
If we spin this forward to this time, we're doing this in February, right?
Right.
And we're still having this discussion. You have to, like we talked about with Dan, have that conversation with your quarterback coach, with your offensive coordinator, with your head coach. Can we get this fixed?
Yeah.
And they're going to probably tell you, yeah, of course we can. Coach him up itis.
Yeah. And this is where, Mel Kiper has a high grade, I think, for Spencer Rattler right now. Yep. If we're going to simplify Mel Kiper, who, is a pioneer in this industry, absolutely. Still, if we were to simplify some of the things that he does, at this point of the year, it's often about athletic ability and arm talent. Yeah. And we know the athletic ability. Here's an example of arm talent, opposite field throw. Good anticipation on the back shoulder route.
Yeah.
This is a very Zach Wilson-y type of hype throw that we saw last year, from the BYU quarterback that that led people to go ooh and ah,
Yep.
and look, it's good, but
Yeah.
but as we talk about, there's more to it than that.
Yeah. But smash fade, gets man coverage, puts it on the outside, time and rhythm, anticipation, placement, trap, like I like to call it. It checks all those boxes.
All right, so now we get into another game here against. I think this is
This is
Iowa
Iowa
State.
State.
Yeah.
And this is the second time they played them. This is why I thought this was a good game to study too. Plus, Iowa State's defense is fun.
Yes. And so you see, you've got three deep across here.
Yep.
You've got, Rattler doing a good job of buying time and finding the open hole here. And he does a good job throwing it on the move here.
He throws well on the move. Absolutely.
I love this play. This is just, I just love
Riley
this
is
pass.
so nasty with this design too.
This is my favorite screen pass in the college game right now.
Yeah. This sort of like a delay screen.
Yeah. It's just a quick get of easy yards, and it can be so much more.
And look, your boy sells it well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great catch of those from Cam and Mack over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so let me see what I'm thinking here. This
Pretty
is
good.
Yeah, not bad.
Synced up pretty good.
Yeah. He gets the feet set very quickly.
Yeah. And in an ideal world, is it a throw bait with better anticipation? Perhaps. But he's carrying out a run fake,
Yeah.
a mesh with the running back on this.
Yeah. There's room for it to be excellent, but it's good right now.
Pretty much as good as you're going to get on that design, given what he has to carry out. So,
yeah. Look at that play fake. Yeah.
Because he's got to get that foot set, but he does it as quickly as he can. And even with all of that stuff in the backfield, which again brings down the Joker safety and all that, you get pretty good timing and rhythm on it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that play.
Yeah, me too. All right. Dangerous play.
Yes.
And the retreating from pressure, which I can't stand.
Yeah.
But, here he is. At this point, you do, I wouldn't necessarily say this is the safer route, but certainly he's looking downfield. Nothing looks that open. He's staring it down. It would be nice to see you just kind of throw it away. He gets away with this. This is where, he gets away with the type of thing that he's not going to get away with in the NFL.
Right. Yeah, that's not working on Sunday. I think we could sort of agree that. Try to figure out what exactly my notes were on this play because I remember thinking a lot about this one.
Do you have an issue with ball flipping?
Not really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things like mechanics, right? And I don't have an issue with it until it becomes an issue, right?
Right.
So if you're a play, it's fine when you're in a dome and there's going to be an issue. But if you're like a rainy day in Dallas and it's like just above freezing and the ball starts slipping out of your hands, then I might have a problem with it. But if it's just sort of a nervous tick from a clean pocket and it doesn't impact you any other way, it doesn't bother me. And look, we're gonna have young Arch Manning to talk about someday soon here because he does it.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'm looking forward to that day, actually.
Might need to do that RSP now because he's going to be playing before we know it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Sigmund's trying to get a chance to watch him this year.
Really?
Go to a game, yeah. Again, this is a nice little quick distribution. Did you find the notes on the previous play? Do you want to?
Can't quite find it. I'm still looking. Don't worry about it though. Let's move on.
Yeah, because I don't really see anything that's massive. All right. So again, this is a nice little quick distribution. Trying to think if there's something else he needed to look at, but I don't think so. This was basically, again, just getting the ball out quickly.
Yeah, and what I always try to look for and stress on these quick game things, do you give your guy a chance to be an athlete after the catch?
Yeah.
Like if you do that, you've done your job. If he can't be an athlete after the catch just because the throw is late or off target, then you didn't do your job. And
Yeah.
he did it there.
Yeah, like a good example in the pro game where it belies the stat would be Emmanuel Sanders last year dealing with Taysom Hill and Drew Brees passes on the outside. He was
Right.
one of the worst in yak, but then when you look at actually the targets he had to catch, he was on the ground trying to catch balls repeatedly during the
Yeah.
year. All right, this is another one retreating, trying to fit a ball against disadvantageous leverage, and he gets away with it.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, it's on one hand a great throw and great catch, even though it's a juggle,
Well,
but it's nearly great on one level, but from a conceptual standpoint, this should not be targeted.
yeah. It's a very risky throw.
Yeah. And if you make 1 out of 10 of those, you're probably doing pretty good. And this was another example of getting away with it, working across, trying to throw across his body in zone. It gets tipped twice, I think. The defender underneath here at the 44, and then the defender coming across nearly intercepts it, and then the receiver ends up catching the rebound.
Yeah. Well, better to be lucky than good, right?
Yep. Nice concentration.
Yeah.
And again, just nice job being able to find. See if I show another version of that. Yeah, just good job opening up to his left, coming back to his right. Lots of air under the ball.
Here, spin that back for one more
Yeah.
time. I mean, the design of this play is so great because you get the sort of half waggle to the left, and the slot receiver runs the corner post, right?
Right.
So you get that safety to open his hips because everything feels, if you're that safety, this is all flowing to the right. He's rolling. He's not going to cross my face. He's going to go to the boundary. Quarterback's rolling left.
Yeah. This looks like some version, like you said, waggle or version of a smash concept on the outside.
Yeah, he's probably thinking that it's sprint smash, and he's going to run the 7. He's going to get leverage on it, force him to make the scholarship throw, and he crosses face on the post. And the fact that you have a quarterback that can roll left and then reset and throw this makes that play possible.
Yes. So you can see there's a lot of nice technical aspects to his game. It's just that the conceptual threads are kind of loose at times.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll take the contact.
Oh, absolutely. He will absolutely head in there and take a hit.
Yeah, he's a gamer. All right, so what do we have here? Looks like I'm looking at good leverage by the defense here. Nothing there. And then this is what I didn't like is he retreats, goes outside, invites more pressure, and now he's got to throw the ball away. It's just
the question becomes in the NFL, is this grounded?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's generally in the direction of the receiver, but you put yourself in a bad situation here because I don't think he ever really technically leaves the tackle box.
Yeah. And does he ever even get this ball off in the pros with an edge defender and maybe a step or two earlier?
Oh, I think I have this play too.
Yes. I want to know what you thought when you watched
a
this.
couple of things.
Okay.
Like, I like that he attacks the line of scrimmage here. I like that he starts to climb, but right here, like the decision falls apart. I understand why he decided to throw it because look, you've got a linebacker staring you in the face right at the 37-yard line. I get why he wanted to throw the football, but you've got a better option than throw it into the double covered receiver here. That's the guy you're circling, the guy leaking out right there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly where I was too. And when you watch this receiver and how he has to get on his knees to catch the ball and then get hammered,
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, can you just had to toss this ball. You
Yeah.
could have put plenty of air under it, and even if the running back gets hit because you lead him a little further downfield, it's still going to be an easier play.
Yeah. Than that.
Yeah, and he's probably
And
not going to get hit.
it looks like it was 1st and 10 here, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, it's not a situation where it's like 3rd and 10, and look, you got to take a shot. It's like no,
yeah,
and sure, in the moment, in that split screen, scouting, it looks open until you remember that there's a safety draped over the top of him.
yeah. I mean, let's watch it from. There's the safety right here.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. It's hard for a quarterback to remember the change of direction where the player is now just a second before the snap. But
Right.
you need to know that. That's the vital information.
Yep.
And because he doesn't remember that, boom. All right, so let's see what we got here. Another
There's
one.
that design again.
Yep. Yep. And just a nice job of being able to throw off platform.
Yep.
Get
your face on the move.
Yep. Over the defender.
I remember that was the moment watching this game where I'm like, I have to write about this design.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it yet, but it's such a good design.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I wish they did it in Cleveland. I would like to see Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb
Coach
running
Stefanski, if you
Yeah.
happen to be watching, you're probably not because you guys have a quarterback. But just in case you're curious about,
Yeah.
put that one in the playbook. This one's an interesting decision.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, again,
It's almost like the shorter version of the design we just talked about, right? Where he's rolling right. You're hoping to catch everybody flow and throw this back. But I always say it didn't quite bite this time.
Yeah, and he's got the easier throw down here. And it's a short situation.
Yeah.
So it's a first down if he throws it
Yeah.
to the right man. And going for the more difficult play, which again is just the college try gone wrong.
Yeah.
He gets hit throwing this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I get right here why he's going to try and throw this.
Yeah. I get the decision. He just gets hit.
Yeah, he has the gun.
Yep.
And we'll see the hit right here. That's all it took.
Yeah.
Another one of those nice plays.
Yeah.
Just feels the zone. And it's quick. It's quick enough that dropping defender can't get to it.
Yeah.
Barely.
And that's a great throw on the move.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I like the late decision to wait till the pressure is right there.
So much calmer in the pocket here.
Yes. Like he knows. It's like it's clicked for him here. He knows for whatever reason what his plan is because you don't move your feet that decisively within a step of pressure without knowing where you're going to go and what you're going to do and understanding that because of what's developing on the field in front of you.
Exactly.
So there's moments.
And I think part of it might be mental/psychological because with Iowa State, you're getting so many 3-man fronts, you're getting a lot of drop 8 stuff. You might not be worried as much about pressure, about blitzes. We were watching, the bowl game against Florida. You're getting a lot more blitz looks, and you saw he was a little bit more unsettled in the pocket, and that leaked into the decision making. That play we talked about with the swing to go. I mean, he seemed a bit more, shall we say, rattled. But
Yep, exactly. And Stefanski, if you're watching this and my hot take is going to be right, you're trading Baker Mayfield to the Packers.
Oh, wow.
And you need a backup for for the next 3 years. No, it's a hot take. I don't think it's going to happen. But I
Hey,
don't think
we've seen other things happen.
I don't think it's as ridiculous as people want to make it out to be, because Baker Mayfield did face some of the easiest defenses in the league last year: Philadelphia, Houston, Tennessee. The toughest defenses they faced were Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and the New York Giants. After the Baltimore game, where he got creamed in the opener looked awful.
I should just rewatch that. Yeah.
And then after that, he had pretty easy defenses to face. So I'm not saying he's bad, but I am saying that Cleveland Browns fans are a little attached to this guy, and I understand. But if I had a shot at Aaron Rodgers to put us over the top, I would trade Grant Delpit, who's injured right now, maybe a first-round pick, and Baker Mayfield for Rodgers for 3 years.
The list of teams that shouldn't inquire about Aaron Rodgers is small.
Yes.
I mean, Kansas City, Buffalo, Tampa Bay.
Yeah. It's about
Anybody else should at least make the call.
Yeah. I would enjoy seeing Tampa Bay somehow ended up with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. It would never happen. I'm just thinking of like the sheer stupidity of like how that how the league would react. I think like fans would like literally like their heads would explode.
I mean, that's almost the commissioner steps in situation.
Yeah. Just a nice throw. We've seen this a number of times as we're going through a number of things. So there's some of my looks. Let's take a look at what Mark's bringing to the table here. We get Gary Patterson's defense.
Game, here we go.
Oh, looky there.
Yeah. And it's just, again, it's sort of moving him around a bit, getting him outside the pocket, nice throw, on the move, pressure coming, takes the hit, able to complete this. Now, look, safety probably takes a poor angle here, falls down, but still, this is a nice read and a nice throw, and it shows you that arm on the move.
Without a doubt. Look at it from this end zone view. I like how quick he gets rid of the ball.
Yeah. He's got an extremely quick release.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing more and more quarterbacks with quick releases as a byproduct of the RPO mesh stuff, where you've got to sort of get it out quickly.
Yeah.
This play I love. It's sort of a Yankee concept. You get the deep post, the over, play action. It's sort of college Yankee. And I think you get a bust here. Linebacker's trying to match this, and he runs into but he just puts it on him. Yeah. He sees it and just puts it on him.
This is a play you would see the Bills run.
Yeah. They opened against Miami, and Allen last year was throwing crosser after crosser after crosser to Beasley and Diggs and just picking their man coverage stuff apart. But yeah, you're right. I mean, this is Diggs on the deep, or maybe, somebody else, Gabriel Davis.
Yep.
And maybe it's Diggs on the over. But yeah, this is a Brian Dable design right there.
Yeah. We'll see Sanders probably going deep and Stephon Diggs over the middle, or vice versa with this team now. Because Sanders can actually manipulate multiple defenders as a zone route runner, as opposed to a guy like Brown who really had to lean on Josh Allen's arm. Ooh, nice job there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that's going to get people excited. The contact balance, the strength to stay upright, turned what should have been, and 7-yard loss. Now, the other thing, though, is this. After he spins, his eyes should go to that tight end that's leaking out towards the boundary, right? That guy right there.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity. It's almost the same kind of concept, right? Where, you've got the running back down, corner bites on that. You've got an opportunity for a play, and he pulls it down.
Yeah.
And
Now,
again, it's that sort of process versus results. The result is great, but you've got two guys screaming for the football downfield.
yeah, the tough part with that play, the only thing I could defend him for is when you get spun like that, maybe you lose your bearings
You lose,
just
yeah,
enough right there, unless unless you're incredible, and maybe he second guesses that because of the fact that he spun
yeah,
and didn't get to really see what he needed to see due to the hit.
yeah.
But
It's just one of those things. It's a great play, but it could be even better, right?
I agree.
Yeah. I remember what. Oh, I remember why I like this one.
This
Little
little,
pump,
yeah,
baits him in.
yeah, yeah. This is nice
Yeah,
work.
I really like this play.
Yeah,
Waits till the last second, a little more calm in the pocket. And again, I think it was another sort of three-man rush.
yeah. He's
So he feels a bit more comfortable.
a tale of two players. This guy for
Yeah.
sure. All right. And I just like quarterbacks that can manipulate with the ball.
Yeah.
Some patience
You know,
right there.
yeah, it's not a glamorous play, but hands in there, decent anticipation. I mean, the throw's a little bit high, yeah, but I almost like the placement. Hands in the pocket well. I mean, this is just a nice, one of those things you have to do, right? Make that
Yeah.
throw from the pocket, and he does it well.
So yeah, you can see that he's not just a guy who pressure's going to rattle him on a regular,
Right.
all the time. I mean, look at this, multiple points. You've
Yep.
got 5 men coming. I think he needs to be comfortable with what he sees downfield. And when he's comfortable with that, the pressure doesn't bother
Yeah.
him. But if he
No.
doesn't know the answer downfield and the pressure's coming, he gets squeezed and then and then winds up falling apart.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right.
So, preparation and becoming more fluent with different defenses is really going to
This
be key
play
for
reminded
him.
me a lot of Justin Fields versus Clemson 1.0. If you remember the first time we played Clemson, there was this play where you get that same sort of rotation where they show three deep, but they spin the two of the safeties down. It's still three deep, but they get to it a different way, and he was late. It was nearly picked.
Yeah.
Here, it doesn't really phase him. Now, he's probably going to that inside stick anyway,
Right.
but the rotation, the way the safeties drop down, doesn't throw him off, doesn't sort of rattle him, doesn't sort of confuse him. You see some
Yeah.
quarterbacks when they see that different rotational look,
And they freeze.
they freeze. Here, nope, little climb. Okay, like I'm confident.
And the
Like
feet
like
are
you were just talking
really
about.
comfortable. Yeah.
Feet are really comfortable. He knows the answer to the problem in the secondary, so he's comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah. Nice example.
There's that quick release.
Yeah.
Again, these last two plays weren't sexy or anything, but they're the throws that extend drives.
Yeah, and there are plays that you often see go wrong where
Yeah.
quarterbacks go wild,
Yeah.
and this is one where he's just doing his job. And again, that nice, and he's not running into the line like,
Yeah.
he's not trying to sprint and break the pocket and go, oh, wait a minute. It's just a quick
No,
little
it's
efficient
just
step.
subtle quarterback footwork in the pocket.
We show all kinds of things on this particular
do.
show.
If this looks familiar, it's
Yeah. Again, you want that game management.
yeah. Sometimes you got to throw it away.
Yep.
Now, sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, there's that play I was talking about. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
I like the climb, the step around. That's all good, but the guy's not going to give up.
Yeah.
And so you have to have that sort of those eyes, that feel, those eyes in the back of your head to think, I got to have two hands on the ball while I'm doing this. That
Yeah,
guy's still out there.
yeah. You're either throwing the ball away or you're looking to whether that's Stevenson or Brooks. You gotta get that ball out to your outlet at
Yeah.
best, and probably just throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not going to be a great angle for Stevenson right there with a defender over top.
And again, another play that I think will look a little familiar.
Yes.
I always like when there's overlap because it makes me feel like I'm seeing the right things.
I'm the same way. I like seeing
Yeah.
what when I see that you've got another guy, and we've had quite a bit of overlap, even if it isn't play to play.
It's
It's
concept to concept.
yes.
Yeah.
So that was great. So you can see the things I look at in my own time there. But
Yeah.
but that's really he's a fascinating guy when it comes
Yeah.
to evaluating him because it was enlightening to me to see the plays where he was calm, where he didn't get where he was able to process the field in a manner that is befitting a first round prospect.
And what's interesting about that, because I started to think while we were talking about that, was it just a reps? He was calm late in the season, but rattled early in the season. But some of the examples where he was the most calm in the pocket were the Big 12 championship game. And some of the examples where he seemed the most frenetic were the bowl game. I mean, so it's not like a situation where, he'll just get there with more time. I think there's more to that. That's why I think your idea that if he's solved the puzzle of the secondary, he's calm in the pocket is probably the exact right one.
Yeah.
Like the more confident he is in what he's seeing downfield. And part of that might be with Iowa State. Look, you've got the 3-man rush, the drop eights and stuff like that. He knows, okay, this is what I'm getting. It was the second time he had played them. So he's probably a lot more comfortable than Florida. You're seeing them for the first time.
Exactly. And the athletes might be a tick better up front, which is where the SEC can be the difference is the guys in the trenches tend to be just a tick better and give you a preview of what you're going to see in the NFL at even a greater level. Yeah. So, fascinating player ahead when it comes to what we're going to be able to be watching for the 2021 season. Check out Mark's work. At TD Wire, you're going to be able to see some fantastic, previews of quarterbacks and various players, heading into the 2021 draft. Check out his YouTube channel. That is certainly one that you're going to, and Mark, tell people where you can find your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to do it is just, I actually don't even know if I've got a name for it. I think it's just Mark Schofield on YouTube. But a lot of the TD Wire stuff, I've got the YouTube videos linked in there, so you can find it that way. You just shoot me a DM and say, Mark, where's your YouTube channel? And I'll dig it up and send you a link. But, we do some fun stuff over there.
Like a good neighbor.
Little longer videos, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there for you. And,
Very nice. Very nice. Well, listen, if you're interested in projections for fantasy football, I have them for you for dynasty leagues and certainly doing 2-year projections this year. You can find them available at mountwaldman.com. You can find the RSP publication, Better Than Ever, as well, available. And so it's a great 1-2 punch type of package. But either one, if you're interested in one or the other, listen, both parties have been very happy with either one that they get individually or been ecstatic when they get both. And that's a good way to be able to support the channel. And I appreciate, all of you for, a wonderful year. That was 2021. And hopefully we have a wonderful year ahead. And you'll be seeing more of Mark and I as we go over some of these prospects for the 22 draft class. Thanks again, fellas, and have a good night. Whoa.